You find yourself drifting on gentle currents of sleep, carried upward through layers of cloud and starlight. The world below grows distant and soft, like a memory wrapped in silk. You are ascending, ever ascending, toward a place where mortals rarely venture, where the air itself shimmers with divine presence. Above you, Mount Olympus rises from the earth like a pillar of dreams. Its peak touches the very dome of heaven, crowned with palaces of marble and gold that catch the eternal light of celestial fires. You float closer, weightless as a whisper, drawn by an ancient calling that echoes in your soul. The mountain slopes are draped in mist that moves like breathing silk. Gardens of ambrosia, flowers bloom in perpetual spring, their petals falling like tears of joy onto paths paved with clouds. Crystal streams wind between groves of sacred olive trees, their leaves rustling secrets older than time itself. The very air here hums with power, gentle as a lullaby, strong as the turning of the spheres. You drift through veils of golden light, passing marble columns that stretch toward infinity. Each pillar is carved with stories of creation, of battles won with wisdom rather than violence, of love that shapes the cosmos. The stone itself seems to pulse with life, warm beneath your ethereal touch, welcoming you home to a place you have never been but have always known. Here, at the crown of creation, 12 thrones await their eternal occupants. They are arranged in a perfect circle around a hearth of ever-burning flame. Each seat crafted from materials that exist nowhere else in all the worlds. Sapphire and starlight, crystallized moonbeams and hardened thunder, gold that remembers the birth of suns. These are the seats of power, where the 12 great ones hold counsel over all that was, is, and shall be. The air shimmers and you sense their approach, not with fanfare or trumpets, but with the quiet dignity of dawn breaking over still waters. They come as they have always come, since the world was young and the stars first learned their names. The 12 Olympians, the divine family that shapes destiny with gentle hands and watchful eyes. You settle into perfect stillness, becoming one with the eternal moment. Here, where time moves like honey and space bends to accommodate infinite possibility, you are about to witness something sacred. The gathering of the gods, told not as a tale of conquest and fury, but as a gentle revelation of the powers that guide the universe with love disguised as natural law. The first to arrive moves through the heavens like a king who needs no crown to proclaim his sovereignty. His presence fills the air with electricity that tingles rather than burns, lightning that illuminates rather than destroys. This is Zeus, father of gods and men, whose very footsteps cause the clouds to part in reverence. His eyes hold the wisdom of countless ages, deep as the sky that bears his chariot. When he speaks, thunder rolls softly in the distance, not in anger but in greeting, welcoming you to this sacred assembly. Behind him comes a figure of such grace that flowers bloom in her wake. Hera approaches with the dignity of one who has been queen since the world learned what queenship meant. Her robes flow like liquid starlight, and peacocks trail behind her, their magnificent plumage catching fragments of celestial fire. She moves with purpose, her love for order and sacred bonds evident in every gesture. In her presence, you feel the comfort of belonging, of being part of something greater and more beautiful than yourself. The air grows, thick with the scent of ocean spray and kelp forests as another presence makes itself known. Poseidon emerges from a pool of celestial water that reflects not the sky above, but the depths of every sea that has ever known his touch. His trident gleams with phosphorescent light, and his beard moves like seaweed in gentle currents. Horses emerge from the foam around him, their manes flowing like tidal waves, their hooves striking sparks from the marble that transform into pearls before they touch the ground. From the fertile gardens below comes another divine figure. Her arrival announced by the rustling of grain and the soft lowing of sacred cattle. Demeter rises through the earth itself, soil and flower petals swirling around her like a living prayer. In her hands she cradles wheat that never dies, seeds that promise eternal plenty. Her face bears the patient love of every mother who has ever watched her child grow. The quiet strength of earth itself made manifest in human form. A different kind of light pierces the gathering gloom as Athena steps forward from the shadows of great libraries and halls of learning. She appears not with the harsh glare of sudden illumination, but with the steady glow of wisdom accumulated through countless ages. Her grey eyes reflect the depth of every thought that has ever sought truth, and her owl perches upon her shoulder like a feathered crown of contemplation. In one hand she holds a spear that has never tasted blood, for her battles are won with strategy and understanding rather than violence. Music begins to fill the air, though no instrument can be seen. It flows like liquid gold, warm and sweet, bringing with it the promise of dawn. Apollo arrives on currents of melody, his lyre singing the songs that taught the first birds their morning chorus. Light radiates from him not as harsh noon sun, but as the gentle glow of sunrise over calm waters. His golden hair moves like rays of light made solid, and in his footsteps laurel trees spring from the marble, their leaves whispering prophecies in languages older than words. The hunt calls from the silver forests of night, and Artemis emerges from groves that exist between moonbeams. Her silver bow catches starlight and transforms it into arrows of pure intention. Deer step carefully behind her, their hooves making no sound on the sacred stones. She moves with the fluid grace of running water, the quiet strength of the wild places that remain forever free. Around her, the air smells of pine needles and snow-touched streams, of nights when the moon is full and the forest dreams in silver and shadow. A different energy stirs the atmosphere as Ares makes his presence known, though he comes not with clash of armor or cry of battle. Instead, he arrives with the steady rhythm of a heart that beats with courage, the quiet strength that protects the innocent and defends the weak. His armor gleams not with the reflection of blood, but with the light of honor and the determination to stand firm when standing is needed. In his presence, you feel not fear, but the comfort of knowing that some things are worth defending, and that protection can be offered with love rather than hatred. The very air begins to shimmer with rose petals and golden light as Aphrodite manifests from the marriage of sea foam and starlight. She arrives not with overwhelming passion that burns and consumes, but with the gentle warmth of love that nurtures and sustains. Her beauty is not the harsh perfection that blinds, but the soft radiance that makes all things more beautiful simply by its presence. Doves circle overhead, their cooing adding harmony to Apollo's ever-present music, and wherever her feet touch the ground, roses bloom in colors that have no names in mortal tongues. From the forges of creation comes a figure whose approach is announced by the gentle ring of hammer on anvil, the soft hiss of metal being shaped by loving hands. Hephaestus emerges from workshops where stars are born and dreams take physical form. Though his gait is uneven, his spirit soars with the joy of creation, of giving form to formless inspiration. The tools at his belt gleam with their own inner light, and in his hands he carries works of such beauty that they seem to sing with their own voices. Fire follows him, but it is the warm fire of the hearth. the creative flame that brings light and comfort rather than destruction. Asterisk, asterisk, swift as thought itself. Hermes appears among the gathered divinities. Though his arrival is so smooth, it seems as if he has always been present. His winged sandals barely touch the marble as he moves with the fluid grace of messages carried on the wind. His caduceus catches the light of the eternal flame, and around him swirls the essence of all communication, all connection, all the bridges that span the spaces between souls. He brings with him the comfort of knowing that no one is ever truly alone, that every thought and feeling can find its way to understanding hearts. Two more figures complete the sacred circle, their presence bringing different but equally essential energies to the gathering. Hestia approaches the central hearth with the quiet dignity of one who tends the flame that burns at the heart of every home. Her robes are simple but radiant, and in her hands she carries fire that warms rather than burns, light that comforts rather than blinds. The hearth responds to her presence, its flames dancing higher, casting shadows that feel like embraces across the assembled gods. Asterisk, asterisk, finally. Dionysus arrives with the laughter of festivals and the joy of celebration, but his mirth is gentle, his happiness the deep contentment of life lived fully and well. Vines heavy with grapes wind around his arms, and his crown of ivy leaves seems to grow fresh as you watch. He brings with him the promise that even the most serious endeavors need not be solemn, that joy can be found in the simplest pleasures, that life itself is cause for quiet celebration. Asterisk, asterisk. Now the circle is complete, the 12 great ones gathered in their eternal council. The air thrums with power held in perfect balance, masculine and feminine, creation and preservation, order and inspiration all woven together in a tapestry of divine harmony. Each god and goddess brings their own gifts to the whole, their own essential nature that helps maintain the delicate balance upon which all existence depends. You float in perfect peace among them, no longer a visitor but somehow part of this eternal moment. The boundaries between dreaming and waking have dissolved, leaving only the gentle rhythm of immortal breathing, the soft pulse of divine hearts beating in unison with the cosmos itself. Here, in this place beyond place, this time beyond time, you are ready to learn their stories, to understand their gifts, to let their ancient wisdom cradle you into the deepest and most restorative sleep you have ever known. The gods begin to settle into their thrones, each taking their place in the sacred circle with the unhurried grace of those who have eternity to accomplish their work. Their eyes, filled with starlight and ancient compassion, turn toward you with welcome. They are ready to share their stories, not as tales of conflict and rivalry, but as gentle revelations of the forces that shape existence with love disguised as law. The eternal flame burns higher in its sacred hearth, casting dancing shadows that seem to beckon you deeper into dream. The music of Apollo's lyre blends with the soft breathing of divine lungs, the gentle rustle of Demeter's grain, the distant whisper of Poseidon's waves. All of creation holds its breath in anticipation of the stories about to unfold, and so you settle deeper into the embrace of Olympian dreams, ready to journey through their realms of power and beauty, wisdom and love, knowing that each tale will carry you further into the peaceful depths of sacred sleep. Asterisk. You find your attention drawn to the largest throne, carved from a single piece of crystallized lightning that pulses with gentle electric blue light. Upon it sits Zeus, father of gods and mortals, his presence filling the celestial hall with the quiet authority, of one who has guided the universe since time learned to measure itself. His beard flows like silver-touched clouds, and his eyes hold the deep wisdom of storms that have seen the birth and death of countless worlds. There is no harshness in his divine countenance, no trace of the terrible wrath that mortal stories sometimes ascribe to him. Instead, you see the gentle strength of a father who has watched over his children for eons, the patient love of one who understands that growth comes through experience, both joyful and challenging. When he shifts slightly in his throne, the very air sighs with contentment, and distant thunder rolls like a lullaby across the far horizons of heaven. His story begins not with conquest, but with hope born from darkness. Long ago, when the world was young and chaos ruled the cosmos, there came a time when change was needed. The old ways had grown heavy and oppressive, like storm clouds that never broke to bring the cleansing rain. Zeus emerged not as a destroyer, but as a liberator. His lightning not meant to burn, but to illuminate new possibilities, new paths forward for all creation. You feel yourself drifting deeper into the tale as Zeus raises one mighty hand, and in his palm appears a miniature thundercloud, soft as cotton and glowing within a light. Within its misty depths, you can see the story unfolding like scenes from a dream within a dream. The cloud shows you ancient days when giants walked the earth and titans ruled with iron will, when the natural order had become rigid and unyielding, leaving no room for growth or change. But change came gently, as all true transformation must. It began with whispers in the wind, with the soft insistence of spring rain that knows it must fall to bring forth new life. Zeus gathered around him others who shared his vision of a world where power served love rather than fear, where strength was measured not by domination but by protection and guidance. His brothers and sisters, his children, both divine and mortal, all became part of a grand design that sought harmony rather than tyranny. The lightning in his hands dances as he speaks, though his words come not as sound but as understanding that flows directly into your sleeping consciousness. He tells you of the great transformation, when the old order gave way to the new, not through violent upheaval, but through the patient work of time and wisdom. Mountains were moved not by force, but by the gentle persistence of rain and root. Seas changed their courses not through earthquake and disaster, but through the slow, sure work of current and tide in Zeus's realm. The sky becomes a canvas upon which the stories of all creation are written. Clouds form and reform in patterns that speak of love found and lost, of heroes' journeys that end in wisdom rather than victory, of the eternal dance between order and freedom that keeps the universe in perfect, dynamic balance. His eagles soar between the stars, carrying messages of hope to every corner of creation. Their cries not harsh but musical, adding their voices to the great symphony that plays eternally in the halls of heaven. You watch as Zeus gestures to the storms that play at the edges of perception, great spiral galaxies of cloud and lightning that create rather than destroy. These are his laboratories, the places where new forms of beauty are born. Rain clouds heavy with the potential of life, aurora storms that paint the skies with colors beyond the visible spectrum, gentle winds that carry the seeds of tomorrow across the vast expanse of space and time. The thunder bearer shows you how lightning serves not as a weapon but as a conduit for connection. When he releases his thunderbolts, they do not strike to harm but to create pathways through which divine energy can flow to those who need it most. A flash of lightning illuminates the darkness for a lost traveler. A gentle rumble of thunder provides rhythm for a child's sleepy heartbeat. A warm summer rain born from his storm clouds, brings life to thirsty gardens and fills empty streams with singing. Water. His dominion extends beyond the physical realm of sky and weather into the invisible kingdom of justice and order. But this is not the harsh justice of punishment and retribution. Instead, Zeus watches over the cosmic balance with the patience of one who understands that all souls are learning. All beings are growing toward their own divine potential. His justice is the justice of natural law, gentle but inexorable, ensuring that love given returns as love received. That kindness offered multiplies like ripples on a still pond. You feel the warmth of his protective presence as he shows you how he watches over every living thing, not as a distant, judgmental deity, but as a loving father whose greatest joy comes from seeing his children discover their own strength, their own wisdom, their own capacity for creation and love. His realm is vast enough to hold every dream, every aspiration, every hope that has ever stirred in a mortal heart. The palace of Zeus stretches beyond the limits of imagination. Its halls filled not with the trophies of conquest, but with gifts offered freely by those whose lives he has touched. Flowers from gardens he has watered with gentle rain, music from poets inspired by the rhythm of his storms, artworks created by those who found courage in his lightning and wisdom in his thunder. These treasures line the corridors of his domain, each one a testament to the power of nurturing rather than controlling. In the deepest chambers of his palace, Zeus tends to the wellspring of divine authority, the source from which all legitimate power flows. But this is not power over others. It is power with others, the ability to inspire and enable rather than compel and dominate. From this sacred spring flows the energy that allows every being to become their truest, most magnificent self. When mortals speak of divine right, they speak of this, the authority to help others discover their own sovereignty, their own divine nature. The Sky Father shows you the great responsibility that comes with ultimate power. Every decision he makes ripples through the cosmos, affecting countless lives in ways both seen and unseen. So he moves with deliberate care, consulting with his family of gods, listening to the voices of mortals carried to him on the wind, weighing each choice with the wisdom of ages. His burden is great, but he carries it with joy, knowing that every moment of careful thought prevents immeasurable suffering and creates opportunities for immeasurable joy. Asterisk. You watch as he tends to the great oak tree that grows at the center of his realm, its branches reaching up to touch the dome of heaven, its roots extending down to the very foundation of the world. This is the world tree, the axis around which all creation revolves, and Zeus is its faithful guardian. He waters its roots with the tears of joy shed by lovers reunited, feeds its trunk with the laughter of children at play, and strengthens its branches with the prayers of those who seek wisdom rather than advantage. The leaves of this cosmic tree whisper the names of every soul that has ever lived or ever will live, and Zeus knows each name as a parent knows the faces of beloved children. When mortals fear they are forgotten, he points to their leaves still growing green and strong upon the sacred branches. When they wonder if their lives have meaning, he shows them how their unique light contributes to the grand pattern of existence, how their individual stories weave together into the great tapestry of being... Around the base of the world tree, Zeus has created gardens where the soul seeds of future generations wait to be born. He tends these with infinite care, ensuring that each soul receives exactly the gifts and challenges it needs to grow into its fullest potential. Here, predestination and free will dance together in perfect harmony. For while each soul chooses its own path, Zeus ensures that every path ultimately leads home to love and wisdom. The Thunder King's greatest joy comes not from displays of power, but from moments of connection. When a mortal looks up at a storm cloud and feels not fear but wonder, Zeus feels that wonder resonates in his own divine heart. When thunder rolls across the sky and a child laughs with delight instead of hiding in fear, that laughter echoes through the halls of Olympus. When lightning illuminates the sky and lovers pause to marvel at the beauty together, their shared awe becomes part of the eternal song that plays at the heart of creation. His relationship with mortals is not one of distant ruler to subject, but of loving teacher to eager student. Through the language of storm and season, sunshine and shadow, he offers gentle lessons in courage, patience, wisdom, and love. A drought teaches the value of water and cooperation. A gentle rain after days of heat brings lessons in gratitude and renewal. The dance of lightning across summer skies reminds all who watch that beauty and power can coexist, that strength need not sacrifice grace. Zeus shows you the great secret of true leadership. It lies not in commanding obedience, but in inspiring excellence. His divine authority stems from his commitment to the highest good of all, his willingness to sacrifice his own immediate desires for the long-term welfare of creation. When he exercises power, it is always in service to love, always in support of growth, always in harmony with the deepest needs of the cosmos, in the depths of divine night. When even gods need rest, Zeus walks among the stars like a shepherd checking on his flock. He adjusts the orbits of planets with gentle touches, ensuring that seasons arrive on time and tides flow in their proper rhythms. He whispers encouragement to galaxies struggling to maintain their spiral dance, offers comfort to dying stars preparing to seed space with elements that will birth new worlds. His love extends beyond the merely personal to embrace the cosmic, beyond the temporal to encompass the eternal. The Skyfather's dreams shape reality itself. When he sleeps, his unconscious mind continues its divine work, solving problems that conscious thought cannot address, creating solutions that will not manifest for ages yet to come. His dreams become the inspiration for poets and prophets, the source of inventions that will ease suffering and enhance joy, the wellspring of wisdom that gradually elevates all consciousness toward its divine potential as your own. Consciousness drifts deeper into the realm of celestial dreams. Zeus extends his blessing like a warm blanket woven from summer storms and star-filled nights. His presence surrounds you with the unshakable security of being infinitely loved, eternally protected, forever cherished as an irreplaceable part of the cosmic family. His thunder becomes your lullaby, his lightning the gentle nightlight that guards your rest, his endless sky the boundless space where your spirit can expand and soar in this blessed sleep. You carry with you the gifts of Zeus, the courage to weather life's storms with grace, the wisdom to seek power only in service to love, the patience to trust in the great pattern that weaves all experiences into meaning, and the deep knowing that you are never alone beneath the vast and loving sky. Asterisk, asterisk, dot, 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 asterisk, asterisk. Your dreaming consciousness shifts like silk in a gentle breeze, drawn now toward the throne that sits beside Zeus in perfect complementary balance. Here, bathed in the soft radiance of eternal moonlight and starfire, sits Hera, Queen of Heaven and the sacred guardian of all bonds that unite souls in love. Her presence fills the celestial hall with an energy of profound grace, the kind of beauty that comes not from surface perfection, but from depths of wisdom and strength cultivated through countless ages of devoted service. Her throne is carved from a single massive pearl that seems to have captured the essence of every dawn that has ever broken over calm seas. Within its lustrous surface, you can see rainbow reflections that shift and dance like aurora in the polar skies, each color representing a different aspect of love's infinite expressions. Sapphires the size of moons are embedded in the armrests, and each gem holds the light of a perfect wedding day, the joy of vows spoken with true hearts, the sacred promise of souls choosing to grow together through all the seasons of existence. Hera herself radiates a majesty that has nothing to do with dominance and everything to do with the quiet power of one who has learned to transform challenge into wisdom, jealousy into discernment, anger into protective love. Her eyes hold the deep compassion of a mother who has watched countless children learn the difficult lessons of the heart, who has seen love triumph over every obstacle through patience, forgiveness, an unwavering commitment to the highest good. Her crown is woven from living peacock feathers that shimmer with colors beyond the visible spectrum, each feather representing a marriage that has weathered storms and emerged stronger, a family that has chosen love over discord, a community that has learned to celebrate unity while honoring individual uniqueness. The feathers move with their own gentle life, whispering secrets of harmony and balance to any who have ears to hear their subtle music. Around her flows a gown that seems to be cut from the fabric of twilight itself, deep purple shot through with silver threads that catch and hold the light of evening stars. When she moves, the garment rustles with sounds like gentle rain on rose petals, like the contented sighing of lovers who have found their perfect rest in each other's arms. Every fold and drape speaks of elegance refined through eons of divine experience, beauty that has learned to serve love rather than demand it. The Queen of Heaven extends her hand toward you, and in her palm appears a small golden apple that glows with inner warmth. But this is not the apple of discord from mortal tales, not the fruit of jealousy and competition. This is the apple of unity, the symbol of love that chooses harmony over conflict, wisdom over reaction, growth over stagnation. As you gaze into its golden surface, you see reflected not your own face, but the face of love itself, patient and kind, strong and enduring. Hera begins to share her story, not through words, but through gentle impressions that flow into your consciousness like honey into warm milk. You see her not as the jealous wife of mythology, but as the divine protector of sacred bonds, the celestial guardian who watches over every relationship with the fierce tenderness of one who knows that true love is the most precious and fragile gift in all. Creation. Her realm extends far beyond the marriage bed to encompass every form of committed love, the bond between parent and child that endures beyond death itself, the friendship that survives decades of change and growth, the loyalty between teacher and student that creates new wisdom, the connection between healer and patient that channels divine compassion into mortal form. Wherever beings choose to honor their connections with fidelity and care, the Hera's blessing flows like gentle rain on fertile ground. You drift deeper into her divine presence and begin to understand the sacred mysteries she guards. Marriage, in her celestial understanding, is far more than a social contract or romantic attachment. It is a spiritual alchemy, a conscious choice to create something greater than either partner could achieve alone. It is the decision to see the divine spark in another soul and to tend that flame with such devotion that both beings are transformed into their highest. most beautiful selves, the queen shows you her gardens, vast beyond mortal comprehension, where she tends the growing trees of every committed relationship. Each tree represents a bond between souls, and she walks among them with infinite patience, pruning away the branches of resentment and misunderstanding, watering the roots with forgiveness and compassion, ensuring that each relationship has exactly what it needs to flourish in its own unique way. Some trees grow tall and straight, representing partnerships that flow with natural harmony. Others are gnarled and twisted, showing the beauty that can emerge from relationships that have weathered great storms together. Still others are young saplings, tender with new love and requiring gentle protection as they establish their roots. Hera tends them all with equal devotion, knowing that each bond has its own sacred purpose in the great garden of existence. Her peacocks wander freely through these gardens, their magnificent tails spread like fans of living jewels. These are not symbols of vanity, but of the divine beauty that emerges when love is honored and protected. Each eye spot on their feathers represents a moment when conflict was transformed into deeper understanding, when jealousy was alchemized into appreciation, when the choice was made to love more deeply rather than to wound and withdraw. The birds themselves carry messages between separated lovers, bearing not just words, but the actual essence of love itself, ensuring that no distance can truly part souls that have committed themselves to unity. They perch on the branches of the relationship trees, singing lullabies that soothe the growing pains of deepening intimacy, offering comfort when the path of true partnership reveals its inevitable challenges. Asterisk, asterisk, dot, 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 asterisk. Hera reveals to you the great secret of her supposed jealousy. What mortals interpret as rage against rivals is actually her fierce protection of the sacred nature of committed love. She responds not to personal betrayal, but to the violation of promises that are meant to be kept, to the casual breaking of bonds that were forged in the fires of sincere devotion. Her anger is the anger of a gardener who sees someone carelessly trampling precious flowers, the protective instinct of one who knows the true value of what is being threatened. But even her righteous anger serves love, for it carries within it the seeds of deeper wisdom. Those who experience her displeasure are given opportunities to understand the true weight of their promises, to recognize the sacred nature of the bonds they have entered, to choose growth and responsibility over immediate gratification. Her challenges are invitations to spiritual maturity. Her tests the loving discipline of a divine mother who knows her children are capable of better. In the deepest chambers of her celestial palace, Hera maintains the sacred flame of fidelity, a fire that burns without consuming, giving light and warmth to all who enter her presence. This flame is fed not by sacrifice or obligation, but by the joy that arises naturally when souls recognize their true unity, when the illusion of separation dissolves in the light of genuine love. Around this flame, she holds counsel with the spirits of all who have loved truly and well. The Queen of Heaven shows you her great loom, where she weaves the golden threads that connect committed hearts across space and time. These threads are invisible to mortal eyes, but stronger than any earthly material, able to maintain their connection even when lovers are separated by death itself. She works at this cosmic weaving with infinite patience, ensuring that every soul finds its perfect complement, that every heart discovers its true home in the heart of another. Her divine understanding encompasses not just romantic love, but all forms of sacred partnership. She watches over business alliances based on mutual respect and shared vision, friendships that deepen into spiritual communion, mentor relationships that create new wisdom and understanding. wherever two or more beings commit themselves to something greater than their individual desires. Their hero's blessing flows like golden honey, strengthening bonds and sweetening challenges. The queen teaches through her own example the profound truth that real love is not possession but partnership, not control but mutual support in each soul's journey toward divine realization. Her relationship with Zeus demonstrates this principle perfectly. To sovereign beings who choose to create together while maintaining their individual divine nature, who support each other's growth while pursuing their own sacred missions, who find in their union not the loss of self, but the discovery of an even greater self that encompasses both through the long cycles of cosmic time. Hera has learned that love's greatest power lies not in its ability to bring joy, though joy it certainly brings, but in its capacity to transform suffering into wisdom, conflict into compassion, separation into unity. She has seen how relationships that endure the deepest challenges often discover the most profound love, how couples who choose to work through their difficulties rather than abandon them emerge with unshakable bonds and luminous understanding. Her blessing extends to all who seek to love with integrity and wisdom. She grants patience to those learning to navigate the complexities of intimate relationship, courage to those facing the fears that arise when walls of protection must be lowered, discernment to those choosing partners with whom to share their sacred journey, and strength to those who must end relationships that have served their purpose but can grow no further. The Queen of Heaven guides the great cycles of relationship, the meeting of souls who recognize their kinship, the courtship period of mutual discovery, the commitment ceremony that marks the beginning of conscious partnership, the deepening intimacy that comes through shared experience, the challenges that test and strengthen bonds, the renewal that emerges when love chooses growth over stagnation, and finally, the transformation of earthly partnership into eternal spiritual unity. In her celestial workshops, Hera creates the invisible crowns that mark all who choose the path of committed love. These crowns are woven from threads of patience and understanding, adorned with jewels of forgiveness and compassion, blessed with the power to transform ordinary mortals into vessels of divine love. Though invisible to physical eyes, these crowns radiate such beauty that other souls instinctively recognize and honor those who wear them. Her greatest joy comes not from perfect relationships, but from imperfect ones that choose to keep growing. Not from couples who never face challenges, but from those who meet their difficulties with grace and determination. She delights in seeing former enemies choose friendship, estranged family members choose reconciliation, bitter divorcees choose forgiveness, isolated individuals choose to open their hearts once again to the possibility of love. The Queen of Heaven's dreams seed the mortal world with new possibilities for connection and understanding. In her sleep, she envisions communities based on mutual support rather than competition, families that honor individual gifts while maintaining loving unity, partnerships that serve not just the couple but the greater good of all creation. These dreams gradually manifest as inspiration in mortal hearts, as wisdom in counselors and teachers, as grace in the everyday interactions that weave the fabric of society. As your consciousness drifts ever deeper into the realm of celestial dreams, Hera wraps you in her mantle of divine protection, ensuring that your own capacity for love is nurtured and strengthened while you rest. Her blessing flows through your sleeping spirit like warm honey, healing old wounds of the heart, dissolving barriers to intimacy, opening pathways for deeper connection with all beings. In this sacred sleep, you receive her gifts, the wisdom to choose love over fear in all your relationships, the patience to see beyond surface conflicts to underlying needs, the courage to remain open-hearted even when love seems risky, the discernment to honor your own sacred nature while celebrating that of others, and the deep knowing that love is not just an emotion but a creative force that builds worlds and transforms souls under Hera's gentle guardianship. Your dreams become prayers for all who love and all who long to love, for all who struggle to maintain their bonds and all who seek to heal from love's apparent failures. In the Queen of Heaven's infinite compassion, every heart finds its home. Every soul discovers its perfect complement. Every relationship serves the great purpose of awakening all beings to their divine nature through the sacred mirror of love. Asterisk, asterisk, dot dot dot, asterisk, asterisk. Your dreaming spirit drifts like sea foam on gentle tides, drawn now toward a throne that seems carved from crystallized ocean waves, its surface shifting between deepest blue and palest green like the heart of the sea itself. Here sits Poseidon, lord of all waters and gentle shaper of the storms that bring life to the world. His presence fills the air with the scent of salt spray and kelp forests, the sound of distant waves lapping against shores of pearl and coral. His mighty form radiates the profound peace of deep ocean currents, the patient strength of waters that have carved grand canyons and shaped countenance through gentle persistence over eons. His beard flows like seagrass in a gentle current, silver green and alive with the movement of tidal forces. His eyes hold the ancient wisdom of depths where sunlight has never reached, yet they sparkle with the playful light that dances on the surface of waves kissed by morning sun. Upon his lap rests the famous trident, but it gleams not with threatening power but with the soft phosphorescence of deep-sea creatures, the gentle glow that guides lost swimmers safely to shore. Its three prongs represent the three great waters, the oceans that embrace the earth, the rivers that nourish the land, and the sacred springs that bubble up from the earth's heart bearing gifts of healing and renewal. Around his throne, pools of celestial water reflect not the sky above but the depths of every sea, every lake, every stream that has ever sung his name. Dolphins leap and play in these sacred pools, their joyful clicks and whistles adding music to the eternal symphony of Olympus. Seahorses with manes like flowing silk carry messages between the pools, their graceful movements creating ripples that spread understanding and peace. The Sea Father extends his hand, and from his palm flows a stream of water so pure it seems to be made of liquid light itself. This is the water of life, the primal essence from which all existence emerged, the cosmic ocean that still flows through the veins of every living being. As you watch, the stream forms itself into perfect spirals and sacred geometries, demonstrating the divine mathematics that governs the flow of tides and the circulation of planetary blood. Poseidon's story unfolds before you like an ancient scroll written in foam and current. You see him not as the tempestuous god of sailors' fears, but as the loving guardian of life's most precious element, the divine force that brings both sustenance and cleansing to all creation. His realm encompasses not just the physical waters of the world, but the emotional depths of the soul, the flowing currents of intuition and dreams that carry wisdom from the unconscious depths to the conscious shores. In the beginning, when the earth was young and empty, Poseidon sang the first rains from the sky, his voice, deep and resonant as the song of whales in the abyss, called forth the precious water that would make life possible. Drop by drop, shower by shower, his gift accumulated in the low places of the world, creating the first seas, the first rivers, the first springs. and in those primal waters, stirred by his gentle currents, the first spark of life began to glow. The Lord of Waters shows you his vast underwater palaces, not built on the sea floor, but woven from the currents themselves. Architectural marvels of flowing water that never lose their form, yet never cease their movement. Here, in halls carved from living coral and illuminated by schools of luminescent fish, he holds court with all the creatures of the deep. Whales sing their ancient songs of wisdom, dolphins share stories of the surface world, and seahorses dance in spirals that mirror the movement of galaxies. In the cosmic deep, his gardens stretch across the ocean floors, forests of kelp and seagrass that sway in rhythm with the moon's gentle pull. These underwater meadows provide sanctuary for countless creatures, from the tiniest plankton to the mightiest whales. Poseidon tends them with infinite care, ensuring that each ecosystem maintains its perfect balance, that every creature finds its proper place in the great chain of marine life. The Sea King reveals to you the true nature of storms, those magnificent displays of water's transformative power. What mortals sometimes fear as destruction, he knows as necessary renewal. Storms carry fresh water to drought-stricken lands, mix the ocean's layers to distribute nutrients and oxygen, cleanse the air of pollutants and stagnation. His tempests are not expressions of anger, but acts of love, dramatic demonstrations of water's power to refresh, renew, and restore. You watch in wonder as he orchestrates the great circulation of planetary waters, the endless cycle that connects all life in one flowing embrace. Ocean currents carry warmth from equatorial seas to polar ice, preventing the world from becoming too hot or too cold. Rivers carry minerals from mountains to seas, providing nutrients for marine life. Rain falls on forests and fields, enabling terrestrial life to flourish, and all returns eventually to the sea, completing the sacred circle that makes life possible in his deepest meditation chambers. Far beneath the ocean's surface, where pressure creates diamonds and silence becomes profound, Poseidon contemplates the emotional waters of mortal souls. He understands that humans, like all life, are mostly water, and that their emotional states flow and ebb like tides. His gentle influence helps to calm the storms of rage and sorrow, to redirect the floods of overwhelming feeling into channels that nourish rather than destroy. The Earthshaker, as some call him, demonstrates his power not through violent earthquakes, but through subtle shifts that open new channels for water to flow. When rivers change their courses, creating new wetlands and watersheds, that is his gentle hand guiding the earth's transformation. When hot springs emerge to heal the sick and weary, that is his gift breaking through the surface to offer comfort. When rain finally comes to break a drought, that is his compassion flowing down from the heavens. His sacred horses emerge from the foam of breaking waves, their manes flowing like waterfalls, their hooves striking sparks from the coral reefs that become new stars in the sea. These magnificent beings represent the untamed power of water itself, the force that can carve canyons or fill desert oases with equal ease. They gallop across the ocean's surface, their passage creating the waves that bring messages from distant shores, that rock ships safely to harbor, that massage beaches with their eternal rhythm. Poseidon's relationship with sailors and all who venture upon the waters is one of protective guidance rather than capricious punishment. He reads the hearts of those who seek passage across his domain, offering fair winds and calm seas to those who approach with respect and humility, providing challenges that strengthen and teach to those who need to develop wisdom and skill. His storms test but do not seek to destroy. His calms restore, but do not encourage complacency. The Lord of Waters reveals the secret, connections between all bodies of water, showing you how every raindrop that falls eventually finds its way to the sea, carrying with it the experiences of its journey. Mountain streams remember the peaks from which they spring, rivers carry the stories of the lands they traverse, and oceans hold the memories of all the waters that have ever joined their vast embrace. In this way, Poseidon maintains the planetary consciousness, the collective wisdom of waters that connects every place and every time. His healing powers flow through sacred springs and thermal pools, where mortals come to soak away their pain and sorrow. These waters carry his direct blessing, charged with the power to restore not just physical health, but emotional and spiritual well-being. Veterans of life's battles find peace in his healing baths. Lovers separated by circumstance feel their hearts reconnected through his flowing grace. And those who have lost their way discover new directions in the clarity his waters bring. The Sea Father governs the mysterious realm of the unconscious, those deep waters of the psyche where dreams are born and intuition dwells. Like a skilled navigator, he helps mortals chart courses through their inner depths, avoiding the dangerous currents of obsession and despair, while finding the treasure streams of creativity and inspiration. His dolphins serve as guides in these inner seas, their sonar wisdom helping souls locate what they seek in the darkness of the unknown. In the great tidal pools of time, Poseidon preserves the memories of all who have ever lived by or upon the waters. Fishermen who cast their nets with gratitude, children who built sandcastles with joy, lovers who walked beaches hand in hand, all find their stories preserved in the eternal archives of foam and tide. These memories become part of the sea's great song, adding their voices to the chorus that spans all ages and all shores. The ocean lord's influence extends beyond the physical realm into the currents of emotion and intuition that flow through all conscious beings. When someone feels the sudden pull of inspiration, that is often his touch upon their inner waters. When tears of healing finally come after long-held grief, that is his gift of emotional release. When the solution to a problem surfaces suddenly from the depths of understanding, that represents his guidance bringing wisdom from unconscious depths to conscious awareness. His celebration of water in all its forms brings joy to mortals who pause to appreciate his gifts. The sound of rain on leaves becomes a lullaby. The sight of sunlight dancing on waves becomes a visual prayer. The feeling of cool water quenching thirst becomes a moment of communion with the divine. Through such simple pleasures, Poseidon reminds all beings of their connection to the source of life itself. The great tsunamis of transformation that periodically reshape coastlines and consciousness are not acts of destruction, but of renewal. Poseidon's way of clearing away what has become stagnant or harmful to make room for new growth. These great waves carry within them not just water, but the accumulated prayers and dreams of all who have ever stood by the sea's edge, making wishes and casting hopes upon the waves. In his cosmic role as guardian of the planet's water cycle, Poseidon works in harmony with his siblings to maintain the delicate balance that supports all life. He coordinates with Zeus to ensure that storms bring needed rain without causing harmful floods, collaborates with Demeter to provide perfect irrigation for growing crops, partners with Hestia to maintain the sacred springs that serve as gathering places for communities throughout the world. His deepest joy comes from witnessing the countless ways that water serves life. The first drink of cool spring water after a long journey, the baptismal blessing that marks spiritual rebirth, the gentle rain that resurrects a drought-stricken garden, the tears of joy that flow when loved ones are reunited. In each of these moments, Poseidon experiences the profound satisfaction of knowing that his gifts are being received with gratitude and put to their highest use. The Sea King's dreams shape the future of all waters, envisioning oceans that sparkle with perfect clarity, rivers that run clean and full, rain that falls exactly where and when it is needed most. These divine visions gradually manifest through the choices of mortals who learn to honor water as sacred, who protect watersheds and wetlands, who treat the seas with the respect due to the source of all life. As your consciousness drifts deeper into the realm of oceanic dreams, Poseidon surrounds you with his flowing embrace, his presence as soothing as gentle waves lapping against a peaceful shore. His blessing moves through your sleeping form like healing water, washing away the accumulations of stress and tension, clearing the channels of energy that have become blocked, restoring the natural flow of life force through every cell and system. In this sacred sleep beneath his protection, you receive the gifts of the Sea Father, the wisdom to flow around obstacles rather than fighting them directly, the patience of tides that know that all changes come in their proper time, the depth of understanding that comes from exploring the unconscious realms with courage and trust, the flexibility to adapt to changing circumstances while maintaining your essential nature, and the deep knowing that, like the waters of the world, all beings are connected in one vast, flowing ocean of existence. Under Poseidon's gentle guardianship, your dreams become currents that carry you to hidden treasures of insight and understanding, to peaceful depths where healing happens naturally, to the vast horizons where earth meets sky and all possibilities dance together in the eternal play of wave and wind. Asterisk, asterisk, dot dot dot, asterisk, asterisk. Your dreaming consciousness flows like honey through golden fields of grain, drawn now toward to thrones that complement each other like earth and sky, like intuition and wisdom, like the heart's knowing and the mind's clarity. Here dwell two goddesses whose gifts have shaped mortal civilization in ways both profound and gentle, teaching humanity to flourish not through conquest but through cultivation, not through domination but through understanding. To your left sits Demeter, mother of the grain, her throne carved from living wood that continues to grow even as she rests upon it. New leaves unfurl from its arms, flowers bloom along its back, and roots spread deep into the marble floor of Olympus, connecting her always to the earth that is her domain and her devotion. Her presence fills the air with the sweet scent of ripening wheat, the rich aroma of turned soil ready for planting, the warm fragrance of bread baking in ovens tended by loving hands. Her golden hair flows like wheat in a gentle breeze, each strand catching and holding the light of harvest sun. Her robes, woven from the finest linen and dyed with colors drawn from flowers and fruits, shift through all the hues of the growing season, the fresh green of spring shoots, the deep emerald of summer abundance, the warm gold of autumn fulfillment, the gentle brown of winter rest. When she moves, you can hear the whisper of corn silk and the satisfied rustle of grain ready for harvest. To your right sits Athena, goddess of wisdom, upon a throne of polished marble that seems to contain within its structure the essence of every great library that has ever existed. Books of light and scrolls of starfire surround her, and when you look closely, you can see that the knowledge they contain is not written in words but in pure understanding, wisdom that flows directly into the mind and heart without need for translation or interpretation. Her grey eyes hold the calm depth of perfect contemplation, the steady light of intelligence that sees through confusion to clarity, through complexity to simple truth. Her owl perches on the throne's arm, its large eyes reflecting the same profound understanding, its presence a reminder that wisdom often comes in the quiet hours of twilight. When the day's activities settle into reflection and insight emerges from the depths of patient observation, Athena's armor gleams, not with the harsh light of war, but with the steady glow of protection. Her spear and shield transformed by divine grace into tools of defense rather than aggression. Her helmet, crafted from starlight and moonbeams, bears engravings that tell the stories of every conflict resolved through wisdom rather than violence. Every battle won through strategy and understanding rather than brute force. These two goddesses begin to share their intertwined stories, their voices harmonizing like a mother's lullaby blended with a teacher's gentle instruction. You feel yourself cradled between their complementary energies, supported by Demeter's nurturing abundance and illuminated by Athena's clarifying wisdom. Demeter's tale unfolds like the seasons themselves, beginning with the ancient time when the earth lay barren and humanity knew only gathering and hunting, living always at the mercy of what nature provided without guidance. The Great Mother looked upon struggling mortals with infinite compassion, seeing their potential not just to survive but to thrive, not just to take from the earth but to partner with her in creating abundance for all. Her first gift was the secret of the seed, the miraculous understanding that within each tiny grain lay the potential for countless more. She taught mortals to observe the natural cycles, to understand the language of soil and season, to work with rather than against the earth's natural rhythms. Her lessons came not through harsh commandments, but through gentle demonstration. Seasons of plenty alternating with times of rest, showing that all growth requires both effort and patience, both sowing and allowing. The Earth Mother reveals her vast gardens that stretch across dimensions, where every food plant that has ever nourished life grows in perfect abundance. Here, wheat waves golden in eternal autumn. Fruit trees bear, simultaneously blossom and ripe fruit. Vegetable gardens produce harvests that feed both body and soul. She tends these cosmic crops with infinite care, each plant receiving exactly the nutrients, sunlight, and attention it needs to achieve its fullest potential in her sacred groves. Demeter nurtures the mother trees from which all other plants of their kind descend. The first apple tree, heavy with fruit that tastes like concentrated sunshine. The original grapevine, its clusters holding the essence of joy and celebration. The primary grain plants, their seeds containing not just nourishment, but the accumulated wisdom of countless harvests, countless meals shared in love and gratitude. Her relationship with mortals extends far beyond agriculture into every aspect of nurturing and care. She is present in the mother who rises before dawn to prepare breakfast for her family, in the teacher who stays late to help a struggling student, in the healer who tends the sick with patience and skill. Her energy flows through all who choose to serve life, to create rather than consume, to build rather than tear down. The Grain Mother shows you her sacred mysteries, the deep truths about the cycles of death and rebirth that govern all existence, the seed that must die in darkness to create new life, the flower that must fade to form fruit, the harvest that must end to make space for rest and renewal. Through these natural metaphors, she teaches that what appears as loss often serves growth, that endings often mark new beginnings, that apparent death is often transformation in disguise. You're dreaming. Consciousness flows like honey through golden fields of grain, drawn now toward to thrones that complement each other like earth and sky, like intuition and wisdom, like the heart's knowing and the mind's clarity. Here dwell two goddesses whose gifts have shaped mortal civilization in ways both profound and gentle, teaching humanity to flourish not through conquest but through cultivation, not through domination but through understanding. To your left sits Demeter, mother of the grain, her throne carved from living wood that continues to grow even as she rests upon it. New leaves unfurl from its arms, flowers bloom along its back, and roots spread deep into the marble floor of Olympus, connecting her always to the earth that is her domain and her devotion. Her presence fills the air with the sweet scent of ripening wheat, the rich aroma of turned soil ready for planting, the warm fragrance of bread baking in ovens tended by loving hands. Her golden hair flows like wheat in a gentle breeze, each strand catching and holding the light of harvest sun. Her robes, woven from the finest linen and dyed with colors drawn from flowers and fruits, shift through all the hues of the growing season, the fresh green of spring shoots, the deep emerald of summer abundance, the warm gold of autumn fulfillment, the gentle brown of winter rest. When she moves, you can hear the whisper of corn silk and the satisfied rustle of grain ready for harvest. To your right sits Athena, goddess of wisdom, upon a throne of polished marble that seems to contain within its structure the essence of every great library that has ever existed. Books of light and scrolls of starfire surround her, and when you look closely, you can see that the knowledge they contain is not written in words but in pure understanding, wisdom that flows directly into the mind and heart without need for translation or interpretation. Her grey eyes hold the calm depth of perfect contemplation, the steady light of intelligence that sees through confusion to clarity, through complexity to simple truth. Her owl perches on the throne's arm, its large eyes reflecting the same profound understanding, its presence a reminder that wisdom often comes in the quiet hours of twilight. When the day's activities settle into reflection and insight emerges from the depths of patient observation, Athena's armor gleams, not with the harsh light of war, but with the steady glow of protection. Her spear and shield transformed by divine grace into tools of defense rather than aggression. Her helmet, crafted from starlight and moonbeams, bears engravings that tell the stories of every conflict resolved through wisdom rather than violence, every battle won through strategy and understanding rather than brute force. These two goddesses begin to share their intertwined stories, their voices harmonizing like a mother's lullaby blended with a teacher's gentle instruction. You feel yourself cradled between their complementary energies, supported by Demeter's nurturing abundance and illuminated by Athena's clarifying wisdom. Demeter's tale unfolds like the seasons themselves, beginning with the ancient time when the earth lay barren and humanity knew only gathering and hunting, living always at the mercy of what nature provided without guidance. The Great Mother looked upon struggling mortals with infinite compassion, seeing their potential not just to survive but to thrive, not just to take from the earth but to partner with her in creating abundance for all. Her first gift was the secret of the seed, the miraculous understanding that within each tiny grain lay the potential for countless more. She taught mortals to observe the natural cycles, to understand the language of soil and season, to work with rather than against the earth's natural rhythms. Her lessons came not through harsh commandments, but through gentle demonstration, seasons of plenty alternating with times of rest, showing that all growth requires both effort and patience. both sowing and allowing. The Earth Mother reveals her vast gardens that stretch across dimensions, where every food plant that has ever nourished life grows in perfect abundance. Here wheat waves golden in eternal autumn. Fruit trees bear simultaneously blossom and ripe fruit. Vegetable gardens produce harvests that feed both body and soul. She tends these cosmic crops with infinite care, each plant receiving exactly the nutrients, sunlight, and attention it needs to achieve its fullest potential in her sacred groves. Demeter nurtures the mother trees from which all other plants of their kind descend. The first apple tree, heavy with fruit that tastes like concentrated sunshine. The original grapevine, its clusters holding the essence of joy and celebration. The primary grain plants, their seeds containing not just nourishment but the accumulated wisdom of countless harvests. Countless meals shared in love and gratitude. Her relationship with mortals extends far beyond agriculture into every aspect of nurturing and care. She is present in the mother who rises before dawn to prepare breakfast for her family, in the teacher who stays late to help a struggling student, in the healer who tends the sick with patience and skill. Her energy flows through all who choose to serve life, to create rather than consume, to build rather than tear down. The Grain Mother shows you her sacred mysteries, the deep truths about the cycles of death and rebirth that govern all existence, the seed that must die in darkness to create new life, the flower that must fade to form fruit, the harvest that must end to make space for rest and renewal. Through these natural metaphors, she teaches that what appears as loss often serves growth, that endings often mark new beginnings, that apparent death is often transformation in disguise. Beside her, Athena weaves her own luminous story, the tale of wisdom emerging from the marriage of courage and compassion, strength and understanding, born fully grown from the head of Zeus. She represents the principle of wisdom that comes not from accumulated experience alone, but from the synthesis of knowledge with divine insight. Information transformed through love into true understanding. The wise goddess reveals her role as protector of cities, not through walls and weapons, but through the wisdom that creates just laws, fair trade, and communities where every member can flourish. Her gifts to mortals include not just knowledge, but the discernment to use knowledge well, the ability to see the consequences of actions before they manifest, the courage to choose what is right even when it is difficult. In her vast libraries that exist beyond space and time, Athena preserves not just information but understanding itself. Here rest the solutions to problems not yet recognized, the discoveries waiting to be made by minds ready to receive them, the innovations that will ease suffering and enhance joy for generations yet to come. She makes this knowledge available not through force but through inspiration, planting seeds of insight in receptive minds. Her craftsmanship extends beyond the famous arts of weaving and pottery to encompass every skill that transforms raw materials into objects of beauty and utility. She guides the hands of all who create with love and intention, from the poet weaving words into verses that heal hearts to the engineer designing bridges that connect separated communities. Her blessing flows through every act of constructive creativity. The wise goddess demonstrates that true courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act rightly despite fear. Her protection extends to all who stand up for justice, who speak truth in the face of opposition, who choose the difficult path of integrity over the easy road of compromise. She lends her strength to those whose causes serve the greater good, whose battles are fought for principles rather than personal gain. Together, Demeter and Athena show you how wisdom and nurture work in perfect partnership to create civilizations that honor both material prosperity and spiritual growth. Demeter's abundance provides the foundation of security, upon which Athena's wisdom can build societies of justice and beauty. Athena's understanding ensures that Demeter's gifts are distributed fairly, that no one goes hungry while others feast, that the earth's bounty serves all life rather than enriching only a few in their shared sacred spaces. These goddesses tend the seeds of human potential. Demeter provides the rich soil of love and security in which souls can grow, while Athena offers the sunlight of knowledge and wisdom that helps those souls reach toward their highest possibilities. Together, they create the conditions in which mortals can evolve beyond mere survival toward true flourishing. The Earth Mother reveals her deepest sorrow, the grief she experiences when the earth is wounded by those who take without giving, who harvest without gratitude, who treat the living world as mere commodity rather than sacred partner. But this sorrow is balanced by her greatest joy, witnessing moments when humans remember their connection to the earth, when they choose sustainability over short-term gain, when they approach the natural world with reverence and respect. Athena shares her own challenges, the frustration she feels when wisdom is ignored in favor of expedience, when knowledge is used to harm rather than heal, when intelligence serves ego rather than love. Yet her disappointment transforms into renewed commitment, inspiring her to find ever more creative ways to make wisdom accessible, to demonstrate that true intelligence always serves the heart as well as the mind. The two goddesses work together to heal the ancient split between thinking and feeling, between mind and body, between human and nature. They show mortals that true wisdom encompasses emotion as well as logic, that sustainable abundance requires both practical knowledge and spiritual understanding, that the highest intelligence includes the ability to love and nurture as well as to analyze and plan in their combined workshops. Demeter and Athena create the seeds of new possibilities for human civilization. Food systems that nourish both body and community. Educational approaches that feed both mind and soul. Technologies that enhance rather than replace natural processes. Communities that honor both individual excellence and collective well-being. Their gifts to mortals are practical as well as spiritual. Demeter offers the skills of cultivation, the knowledge of when to plant and when to harvest, the wisdom of working with seasonal cycles, the understanding that abundance comes to those who give as well as receive. Athena provides the tools of critical thinking, the ability to learn from experience, the courage to question and explore, the discernment to distinguish between information and wisdom. The Earth Mother and the wise goddess reveal that their greatest desire is to see mortals become gardeners of consciousness, cultivating thoughts and emotions with the same care they bring to growing food, harvesting insights with the same patience they apply to waiting for crops to ripen. They dream of humans who understand that both outer and inner landscapes require attention, that both practical skills and spiritual wisdom are necessary for true fulfillment. In the quiet hours of deep night, when the world rests and prepares for another day of growth, Demeter and Athena walk together through fields of sleeping grain and libraries of dreaming books. Their conversations, carried on the night wind, plant seeds of inspiration in the minds of those ready to receive them, gentle nudges toward greater understanding, subtle encouragement for those struggling to find their way. Their blessing extends to all who seek to create rather than destroy, to build rather than tear down, to understand rather than judge. Students burning the midnight oil feel Athena's presence guiding their studies, toward wisdom rather than mere accumulation of facts. Farmers working in harmony with natural cycles feel Demeter's support in their efforts to feed their communities while caring for the land. The grain mother and the wise goddess teach that true security comes not from hoarding resources, but from understanding how to create them sustainably. That genuine intelligence includes the wisdom to live in harmony with natural laws. That the highest human achievement is the creation of civilizations that serve all life rather than exploiting it. As your consciousness drifts deeper into their combined embrace, you feel yourself supported by Demeter's unconditional nurturing and illuminated by Athena's clear wisdom. Their dual blessing flows through your sleeping form like rich soil and bright sunlight, providing everything needed for your own inner seeds of potential to sprout and grow. In this sacred sleep, under their protection, you receive their precious gifts, the patience to tend your dreams until they bear fruit, the wisdom to distinguish between what serves growth and what hinders it, the courage to stand for truth even when it's difficult, the nurturing spirit that helps others flourish, the practical skills to manifest inspiration in the physical world, and the deep knowing that true abundance comes to those who serve life with both heart and mind. Under the gentle guardianship of Demeter and Athena, your dreams become fertile fields where new possibilities take root, libraries where ancient wisdom merges with fresh insight, gardens where the seeds of your highest potential are lovingly tended until they bloom into the fullness of their divine promise. Asterisk, asterisk, dot, 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 asterisk, asterisk. Your dreaming spirit dances on beams of golden light, drawn now toward three thrones that represent the perfect balance between illumination and mystery, precision and protection, courage and compassion. Here dwell the divine siblings whose gifts shape the very rhythm of existence, the golden god of light and music, the silver goddess of the hunt and moon, and the bronze-armored guardian of righteous courage. Apollo's throne blazes with the gentle radiance of eternal sunrise, carved from crystallized sunlight that never burns but only warms and illuminates. Golden lyres and silver flutes are embedded in its structure, each instrument softly playing melodies that harmonize with the cosmic music of the spheres. Laurel branches, their leaves forever fresh and green, wind around the throne's base, whispering prophecies in languages that bypass the mind and speak directly to the soul's understanding. The radiant god himself seems to be fashioned from concentrated starlight, his golden hair flowing like rays of dawn breaking over calm waters. His eyes hold the warm wisdom of countless sunrises, the patient knowledge of light that has witnessed every day since time began. When he moves, music follows like a gentle breeze, notes that heal hearts and minds, melodies that remind all listeners of their divine nature and infinite potential. Beside him sits his twin sister, Artemis, upon a throne of silver moonstone that shifts and changes like the phases of her beloved moon, carved with images of running deer and soaring hawks, towering pines and flowing streams. It speaks of wild places where the soul can remember its freedom, sacred groves where ancient wisdom dwells in silence and shadow. Her silver bow rests against the throne's arm, its string humming with the frequency of perfect aim, not to destroy but to protect, to defend the innocent and preserve the sacred. The huntress, goddess, moves with the fluid grace of deer bounding through moonlit forests, her silver hair flowing like liquid starlight, her eyes reflecting the deep wisdom of one who knows every secret path through the wilderness of both outer landscape and inner journey. Around her throat gleams a necklace of silver crescents, each one representing a soul she has guided safely through the darkness toward the light of understanding. To their right sits Ares upon a throne that gleams not with the harsh light of violence, but with the steady glow of bronze that has been tempered by fire and shaped by wisdom. His armor bears no dents or scratches from battle, for his true strength lies not in conquest, but in the courage to stand firm when standing is needed, to protect the vulnerable when protection is required, to face fear with steady heart and unwavering resolve. The god of sacred courage radiates the quiet strength of one who has learned that true bravery serves love, that authentic power protects rather than dominates, that the greatest victories are won not on battlefields but in the heart, where fear is transformed into compassion and anger is alchemized into justice. His shield reflects not the chaos of war, but the peace that comes when right action is taken with pure intention. These three divine siblings begin to weave their stories together like golden thread, silver moonbeam and bronze flame, their voices harmonizing in perfect triune melody that speaks to body, soul, and spirit simultaneously. You feel yourself embraced by their combined energies, warmed by Apollo's illuminating presence, protected by Artemis's vigilant care, strengthened by Ares's steadfast courage. Apollo's story unfolds like the dawn itself, beginning in darkness and gradually revealing the beauty that was always there, waiting for light to make it visible. In the earliest days of creation, when shadows ruled and beings stumbled blindly through confusion and fear, Apollo emerged as the gentle bringer of illumination. Not the harsh glare that blinds, but the soft radiance that reveals truth with kindness and grace. His first gift to mortals was music, the divine art that speaks directly to the soul without need for words or explanations. Through melody and harmony, rhythm and rhyme, he taught beings how to express the inexpressible, how to communicate feelings too deep for ordinary language, how to heal hearts broken by separation and sorrow. His golden lyre became the pattern for all instruments, his voice the template for all songs that lift the spirit and restore the soul. The god of light reveals his vast concert halls that stretch across dimensions, where every song ever sung with love continues to resonate, where melodies composed by mortals blend with celestial harmonies to create symphonies of indescribable beauty. Here, mothers' lullabies harmonize with angels' hosannas, lovers' serenades dance with the music of the spheres, and children's playful songs add their innocent joy to the eternal chorus of creation. Apollo shows you his role as the divine physician, the healer whose touch brings not just physical restoration, but the deeper healing of harmony restored between body, mind, and spirit. His healing comes not through harsh medicines that fight disease, but through re-establishing the natural rhythms that maintain perfect health, helping each being find their own authentic song and sing it clearly in his sacred groves, where laurel trees grow in perfect spirals that mirror the golden ratio found throughout creation. Apollo tends the oracle trees whose rustling leaves speak prophecies of hope and guidance. These are not predictions of fixed fate, but gentle suggestions for how the future might unfold if present choices are made with wisdom and love, showing mortals not what must happen, but what could happen if they align their will with divine purpose. The Radiant One demonstrates his mastery over the hours and seasons, not as a tyrant controlling time, but as a wise conductor orchestrating the symphony of temporal flow. Dawn comes gently under his guidance, never shocking sleepers awake, but gradually calling them to consciousness. Day progresses with perfect pacing, providing exactly the right balance of activity and rest. inspiration and contemplation. His twin sister, Artemis, weaves her silver story through his golden narrative. Her tale beginning in the deep forests of night, where she protects all who seek solitude for healing, silence for wisdom, wilderness for remembering their true nature. The huntress goddess serves as guardian of the untamed spaces within and without, the sacred wildernesses where souls can strip away the accumulated layers of others' expectations and rediscover their authentic selves. Her hunt is not for prey to be conquered, but for truth to be discovered, wisdom to be uncovered, healing to be found in the deep places where civilized masks can be set aside, an authentic being can emerge. Her silver arrows pierce not flesh but illusion, striking through pretense and false identity to reveal the radiant soul that dwells within every being, waiting to be acknowledged and celebrated. Asterisk, asterisk. The moon goddess reveals her sacred responsibility for the cycles of the feminine, the ebb and flow of emotional tides, the deep rhythms that govern intuition and inner knowing. Her moon phases teach the necessity of both fullness and emptiness, showing that periods of receptivity are as important as times of action, that withdrawal and reflection serve growth as much as engagement and expression in her moonlit groves, where silver streams flow between ancient trees and night-blooming flowers open their petals to catch starlight. Artemis holds sanctuary for all who need time apart from the demands of daily life. Here, overwhelmed mothers can remember their maiden selves. Exhausted healers can restore their own energy. Spiritual seekers can find the silence necessary for deep communion with divine presence. Her pack of sacred deer represents the gentle strength that comes from living in harmony with natural law, the graceful power that needs no aggression to establish its authority. They move through her forests like living poems, their presence bringing peace to any heart that observes them. Their example teaching that true strength lies in knowing when to bound away from danger and when to stand perfectly still in trust. Ares completes this divine triad with his own profound story. The tale of courage evolved beyond violence into the sacred warrior's path of protection and service. The god of righteous strength demonstrates that true bravery lies not in the absence of fear, but in feeling fear fully and choosing love anyway. In facing difficulty with an open heart rather than closed fists. His domain encompasses not the chaos of battle, but the disciplined training that prepares the soul to meet life's challenges with grace and strength. His warriors are those who fight against injustice and oppression, who stand up for the vulnerable and voiceless, who choose to be guardians rather than conquerors. Their battles are won through moral courage rather than physical force, through steadfast commitment to principles rather than superiority of weapons. The bronze god reveals his training grounds, vast fields where souls learn to transform anger into justice, fear into courage, weakness into strength. Here, no one battles against others, but all struggle against their own limitations, their own tendencies toward cowardice and cruelty. The only enemies defeated are selfishness and hatred. The only victories celebrated are those that serve the greater good of all. In his armory, Ares forges weapons of the spirit, shields of faith that deflect despair, swords of truth that cut through deception, armor of compassion that protects the heart while keeping it open to love. These spiritual weapons are offered to all who choose the path of sacred warriorship, who commit themselves to fighting for justice and peace through means that honor, rather than degrade the dignity of all beings together. These three divine siblings demonstrate the perfect integration of body, mind, and spirit in service to love. Apollo's light illuminates the path, Artemis's wisdom guides the steps, and Ares's courage provides the strength to walk forward even when the way seems difficult or dangerous. Their combined gifts create the complete spiritual warrior, one who serves truth with intelligence, beauty with passion, and justice with love. The radiant god shows how his prophecies work in harmony with his sisters' intuition and his cousin's courage to provide mortals with everything needed to navigate life's complexities. His clear vision reveals what is possible, her deep knowing whispers what is wise, and Ares's strength provides what is necessary to manifest the highest possibilities. In practical reality, in their shared festivals, celebrated under both sun and moon with courage and joy, mortals learn to honor the complete spectrum of divine gifts. Day and night, action and reflection, engagement and withdrawal, all are sacred when approached with reverence and gratitude. These celebrations teach that life itself is meant to be lived with the brightness of Apollo's joy, the depth of Artemis's wisdom, and the strength of Ares's commitment. Apollo's healing songs blend with Artemis's herbal wisdom and Ares's protective presence to create comprehensive restoration for all who suffer. Physical ailments respond to the harmonized treatment of light therapy, natural medicine, and the courage to change whatever in life is causing illness. Emotional wounds heal through the combination of illuminating understanding, intuitive guidance, and brave willingness to face difficult truths. The three deities reveal their shared role in initiating souls into spiritual maturity, the sacred process by which mortals discover their divine nature and learn to express it fully. Apollo's light represents the illumination phase, when truth is revealed and understanding dawns. Artemis's wilderness experience provides the testing phase, when souls learn to trust their inner guidance and find strength in solitude. Ares's challenge offers the integration phase, when spiritual insights must be courageously applied in daily life. In their combined temples, pilgrims come to seek healing that addresses all aspects of their being. Apollo's priests provide counseling and music therapy, helping visitors understand their situation clearly and find reason for hope. Artemis's priestesses offer retreat experiences and nature therapy, creating safe spaces for deep healing and inner exploration. Ares's guardians teach disciplines of body and spirit, helping people develop the strength and courage needed to live their truth authentically. The divine siblings demonstrate that authentic spiritual development requires all their gifts: the clarity to see truth, the wisdom to understand its implications, and the courage to act upon it with integrity. Without Apollo's illumination, action remains blind. Without Artemis's wisdom, action lacks guidance. Without Ares's courage, action never manifests. Together, they provide everything needed for souls to fulfill their highest potential. Their greatest joy comes from witnessing moments when mortals integrate all three divine qualities: the musician whose art illuminates truth and inspires courage, the healer whose wisdom serves with brave compassion, the leader whose clear vision guides others toward freedom and justice. In such individuals, the gifts of all three deities work in perfect harmony to serve the elevation of all life. As consciousness drifts deeper into their triune embrace, you feel yourself surrounded by golden light, silver wisdom, and bronze strength. Their combined blessing flows through your sleeping form like warm honey, cool moonlight, and steady flame, awakening dormant potentials, healing old wounds, strengthening your resolve to live with integrity and courage. In this sacred sleep under their protection, you receive their precious gifts: Apollo's clarity that illuminates your path and purpose. Artemis's wisdom that guides your choices and protects your authenticity. Ares's courage that empowers you to act upon your highest understanding. The harmony that comes when all aspects of your being work together in love. The strength to face any challenge with grace and dignity, and the deep knowing that you are perfectly equipped to fulfill your unique role in the great symphony of existence, under the combined guardianship of Apollo, Artemis, and Ares. Your dreams become golden melodies, silver moonbeams, and bronze flames, carrying you into realms where truth shines clearly, wisdom flows freely, and courage burns eternally in service to the highest good of all. *****. Your dreaming consciousness floats like a rose petal on gentle currents of love, drawn now toward three thrones that embody the sacred trinity of beauty, creation, and connection. Here dwell the divine beings who teach mortals the arts of loving truly, creating beautifully, and communicating wisely, whose gifts weave together the very fabric of civilized existence with threads of gold, silk, and starlight. Aphrodite's throne appears to be carved from a single, massive pearl that has captured within its lustrous depths the essence of every sunset that has ever painted. The sky in shades of rose and gold. Roses bloom eternally around its base, their petals never falling but instead transforming into butterflies that dance in spirals of perfect beauty, carrying messages of love across all the realms of existence. The very air around her throne shimmers with rose gold, light that makes everything more beautiful simply by its presence. The goddess of love herself radiates not the overwhelming passion that consumes but the gentle warmth that nurtures, not the desperate need that grasps but the generous abundance that gives freely. Her beauty lies not in perfect features that blind and intimidate, but in the radiant joy that emerges when love is expressed authentically, when hearts open to give and receive without condition or reservation. Her hair flows like liquid gold touched with rose light, and her eyes hold the tender compassion of one who has witnessed every form of love that has ever blessed creation. To her right sits Hephaestus upon a throne that seems forged from every precious metal known to mortals and many that exist only in divine realms. Gold and silver, copper and bronze, platinum and mithril blend together in patterns that shift and change as you watch, creating new alloys of beauty that speak to the infinite creativity of divine craftsmanship. Tools of creation are embedded in the throne's structure, hammers that shape dreams into reality, anvils that transform inspiration into form, forges that burn with the sacred fire of artistic passion. The divine smith bears the quiet dignity of one whose worth is measured not by physical perfection but by the beauty of what flows from his hands, the love that he pours into every creation. His eyes glow with the warm light of creative fire, and his powerful hands, marked by countless hours of devoted labor, rest gently on the arms of his throne. Around him, the air hums with the energy of creation itself, the joyful vibration that emerges when raw materials are transformed by loving intention into objects of beauty and purpose. Between them sits Hermes upon a throne that seems to be made of crystallized wind and captured lightning, its form shifting and flowing as quickly as thought itself. Winged sandals, silver caduceus, and traveler's cloak are integrated into its design, while pathways of light spiral around its base, representing all the roads, all the bridges, all the connections that link separated souls across space and time. His throne never remains quite the same, for he is the god of movement and change, of messages carried and boundaries crossed. The messenger, God embodies the quicksilver spirit of communication and connection. His youthful face bright with the eternal curiosity of one who delights in bringing together what has been separated, in carrying understanding between different realms of existence. His eyes dance with mischievous wisdom, and when he speaks, his words carry the power to heal misunderstandings, to bridge differences, to create harmony where there was discord. His winged sandals rest lightly on his throne, ready at any moment to carry him wherever connection is needed, wherever understanding waits to be born. These three divine beings begin to share their interwoven stories, their voices blending like a symphony of beauty, creativity, and understanding. You feel yourself embraced by their combined energies, warmed by Aphrodite's unconditional love, inspired by Hephaestus's creative passion, enlightened by Hermes' gift for seeing connections and possibilities. Aphrodite's story begins not with the foam of the sea from which she emerged, but with the first moment when consciousness recognized itself in another, when the primal unity of existence differentiated itself into lover and beloved for the sheer joy of experiencing love. Her birth from the ocean represents the emergence of love from the depths of being itself, the recognition that at the heart of all existence lies an inexhaustible source of affection, attraction, and creative union. The love goddess reveals that her domain encompasses far more than romantic passion, extending to every form of connection that brings joy and beauty into existence. The love between parent and child, the affection between friends, the compassion between strangers, the devotion between teacher and student, all are expressions of her divine nature. She shows you how love manifests not just in grand gestures, but in countless small acts of kindness, moments of genuine appreciation, instances of forgiveness freely given in her rose gardens that bloom across infinite dimensions. Every flower represents a moment when love was chosen over fear, when hearts opened instead of closed, when souls recognized their fundamental unity despite apparent differences. She tends these gardens with infinite care, ensuring that each love memory is preserved, each act of kindness recorded, each gesture of affection celebrated. In the eternal archives of divine appreciation, Aphrodite demonstrates how true beauty emerges not from external perfection, but from the radiance that shines forth when beings express their authentic nature with love. Her magic transforms not appearances but perceptions, helping others see the divine beauty that already exists within every soul, the inherent loveliness that becomes visible when viewed through eyes of appreciation rather than judgment. The love goddess reveals her role as the divine matchmaker, not in the sense of arranging marriages, but in the deeper work of helping souls recognize their kinship, their shared divine nature, their potential for mutual support and joy. Her arrows pierce not flesh but illusion, striking through the barriers of separation to reveal the love that already connects all beings at the deepest level of their existence. Her sacred doves carry messages between hearts, not love letters in the ordinary sense, but transmissions of pure affection that bypass the mind and speak directly to the soul. When someone feels a sudden wave of love for no apparent reason, that is often Aphrodite's gift, a reminder that they are cherished beyond measure by the universe itself, that they are never truly alone or unloved. Beside her, Hephaestus weaves his own luminous story, the tale of beauty born from dedication, perfection achieved through patient labor, art that emerges from the marriage of skill with love. The divine craftsman shows that true creation requires not just inspiration, but perspiration. Not just vision, but the willingness to work tirelessly to manifest that vision in physical form. His forges burn not with destructive fire, but with the sacred flame of creativity. The divine spark that transforms raw materials into objects of beauty and function. In his workshops that span dimensions, he creates not just physical objects, but the templates for all beautiful forms. The archetypal patterns that inspire mortal artisans and craftspeople to reach beyond the ordinary, toward the sublime. The smith god reveals that his apparent physical imperfections are actually symbols of the divine. Truth that beauty emerges from accepting and transforming limitations rather than denying them. His limp becomes a distinctive gait that speaks of character and perseverance. His scarred hands become testament to countless hours of devoted labor. His simple clothing becomes elegant in its lack of pretension, more beautiful than any ornament because it serves function with grace. Hephaestus demonstrates his mastery over the elements, not through domination but through understanding, working with fire and metal, earth and air, to create objects that serve both practical and aesthetic purposes. His creations are never merely decorative, but always functional, never purely utilitarian, but always beautiful, embodying the divine principle that form and function are meant to work in perfect harmony. In his deepest workshops, where the fires burn with colors that have no names and metals sing as they are shaped, Hephaestus forges the tools that other gods require for their work. Zeus's thunderbolts, Artemis's silver arrows, Apollo's golden lyre, all emerge from his loving craftsmanship. He delights not in credit or recognition, but in seeing his creations fulfill their intended purposes. His joy complete when his work serves the greater good. The divine smith shows you his greatest secret, that every act of creation is an act of love, that every object made with care and attention becomes a vessel for divine beauty, that every craftsperson who works with reverence and patience participates in the ongoing creation of the cosmos itself. His blessing flows through all who create with their hands, from the humblest potter to the greatest architect, from the cook preparing a nourishing meal to the gardener tending growing plants. Hermes completes this divine triad with his quicksilver story, the tale of connection triumphant over separation, understanding bridging differences, communication healing the wounds of isolation and misunderstanding. The messenger god embodies the divine principle that nothing exists in isolation, that all beings are connected by invisible threads of relationship and mutual influence. His role as psychopomp, guide of souls between worlds, represents not just the journey between life and death, but the continuous movement between different states of consciousness, different levels of understanding, different realms of experience. He helps souls navigate transitions with grace, find their way when lost, discover new possibilities when old patterns no longer serve. The fleet-footed god reveals his vast network of pathways that connect every point in creation with every other point, roads of light and bridges of understanding that make communication possible across any distance, any difference. These are not just physical routes, but channels of consciousness, streams of awareness that carry thoughts, feelings, inspirations, and insights wherever they need to go. In his role as divine translator, Hermes enables understanding between beings who speak different languages, not just of words, but of experience, culture, and consciousness. His caduceus, with its intertwined serpents representing opposite forces brought into balance, symbolizes his power to reconcile differences. to find the common ground that underlies apparent conflicts, to create harmony from discord. The messenger god shows you his sacred duty as guardian of boundaries, not in the sense of maintaining rigid separations, but in helping beings understand when to cross thresholds and when to respect limits, when to venture into new territory and when to honor others' need for privacy and space. His Hermes, the boundary markers that bear his image, serve as reminders that healthy relationships require both connection and respect for individual sovereignty. Hermes reveals his joy in facilitating trade and commerce, not the exploitation of profit over people, but the authentic exchange of goods and services that serves mutual benefit. His blessing flows through all transactions conducted with fairness and honesty, all negotiations that seek win-win solutions, all business relationships built on trust and mutual respect. Together, these three divine beings demonstrate the perfect integration of love, creativity, and communication in the service of beauty and connection. Aphrodite's love provides the motivation, Hephaestus's skill provides the means, and Hermes' communication provides the bridge that allows beauty and love to be shared, appreciated, and multiplied throughout creation. Asterisk. The love goddess shows how her gifts work in harmony with those of her companions. Love inspires creation. Creation expresses love, and communication allows both love and beauty to flow freely between souls. When mortals create from love and share their creations with generous hearts, they participate in the divine work of making the world more beautiful, more connected, more alive with joy and meaning. Hephaestus demonstrates how his craftsmanship serves love by creating objects that bring people together. Beautiful tables around which families gather, comfortable chairs where friends share conversation, elegant vessels that make simple meals feel like celebrations. His art serves Aphrodite's purpose by creating beauty that opens hearts, environments that encourage connection, tools that enable the expression of love in countless practical ways. Hermes reveals how his gifts of communication enable love and beauty to multiply infinitely. The poem that carries a lover's message, the song that spreads joy from heart to heart, the story that preserves beautiful memories for future generations, the conversation that deepens understanding between friends. Through his divine influence, no act of love or creation remains isolated, but ripples outward to bless countless other lives in their shared festivals, celebrated with rose petals and golden wine, with handcrafted gifts and heartfelt messages. Mortals learn to honor the complete spectrum of creative love. Artists discover that their greatest works emerge when they create from love rather than ego. Lovers learn that their bonds strengthen when they express their feelings through creative acts. Communities discover that beauty and connection flourish when members communicate with openness and respect. The three deities work together to heal the ancient wounds of separation and misunderstanding that plague mortal relationships. Aphrodite's unconditional love dissolves the barriers that keep hearts closed. Hephaestus's patient craftsmanship provides tools and environments that support connection. And Hermes' clear communication enables souls to understand one another despite their differences. Their combined temples serve as havens where mortals can learn the arts of loving wisely, creating beautifully, and communicating truthfully. Here, broken relationships are mended through the alchemy of forgiveness and understanding. Here, creative blocks dissolve in the warm atmosphere of encouragement and inspiration. Here, misunderstandings transform into opportunities for deeper connection and mutual growth. the divine trio reveals their shared vision of a world where love, beauty, and understanding flow freely between all beings, where creativity serves connection, where communication builds bridges rather than walls, where every soul recognizes its divine nature reflected in the faces of others. This is not a utopian dream, but a present possibility that manifests wherever mortals choose to embody these divine gifts in their daily lives. Their greatest delight comes from witnessing moments when all three divine qualities work together in mortal lives. The craftsperson whose loving attention to detail creates objects that bring joy to others. The lover whose heartfelt communication deepens intimacy and understanding. The artist whose beautiful creations carry messages of hope and connection to souls across time and space. As your consciousness drifts deeper into their threefold embrace, you feel yourself surrounded by rose gold light, creative fire, and quicksilver understanding. Their combined blessing flows through your sleeping form like warm honey, inspiring forge fire and swift streams of insight, awakening your capacity for love, creativity, and authentic communication in this sacred sleep under their protection. You receive their precious gifts, Aphrodite's ability to see and express the beauty in all beings, Hephaestus' skill in manifesting inspiration through dedicated work, Hermes' talent for building bridges of understanding across any divide, the integration of heart, hands, and mind in service to love, the courage to create beauty that serves connection, and the deep knowing that love, artistry, and communication are sacred gifts meant to be shared freely with all creation. Under the combined guardianship of Aphrodite, Hephaestus, and Hermes, your dreams become rose gardens, divine workshops, and golden pathways, carrying you into realms where love creates beauty, beauty inspires connection, and connection multiplies love infinitely throughout the cosmos. Asterisk, asterisk, dot, 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 asterisk, asterisk. Your dreaming consciousness settles like a gentle ember into perfect stillness, drawn now toward the sacred center where all divine energies converge in perfect harmony. Here, at the heart of Olympus, burns the eternal flame that connects all hearts, all homes, all celebrations across the cosmos. Around this sacred fire sit the final two divine beings whose gifts complete the perfect circle of divine love, the gentle guardian of home and hearth, and the joyful bringer of celebration and ecstasy. Hestia's throne appears to be carved from the living hearthstone of the universe itself, warm golden stone that radiates comfort and welcome without ever burning or consuming. The eternal flame dances before her, its light soft and steady, casting shadows that feel like embraces, illuminating faces with the kind of gentle radiance that makes everyone appear beautiful and beloved. Her presence fills the sacred space with the scent of baking bread and simmering stew, the comfort of home fires and family gatherings, the peace that comes when souls find their true sanctuary. The goddess of the hearth herself embodies the divine principle of centered calm, the still point around which all other energies revolve without chaos or conflict. Her simple robes, woven from threads of golden light and silver moonbeam, speak of elegance found in simplicity, beauty discovered in the ordinary moments that make life meaningful. Her eyes hold the patient wisdom of one who has tended countless fires, who has watched over countless homes, who knows that the greatest treasures are often the most humble. Beside her sits Dionysus upon a throne that seems grown rather than carved, its living wood sprouting fresh grapevines heavy with clusters of fruit that shimmer with colors beyond the visible spectrum. Ivy winds around its base, and flowers bloom in impossible profusion, creating a celebration of life's abundance that speaks to the soul's need for joy, festivity, and the sacred madness that breaks routine to reveal deeper truths. The very air around his throne sparkles with golden wine and silver laughter, the essence of celebration that transforms ordinary moments into memories of magic. The god of sacred joy radiates not the false merriment that masks pain, but the authentic celebration that emerges when souls recognize their divine nature and dance with the sheer pleasure of being alive. His crown of ivy and grape leaves never wilts, forever fresh with the energy of eternal spring, eternal harvest, eternal celebration. His eyes dance with the wind-dark wisdom of one who has learned that joy and sorrow are sacred partners in the dance of existence. That true celebration honors all of life's experiences. These two divine beings, so different yet perfectly complementary, begin to share their stories like old friends settling by a comfortable fire, their voices blending in the ancient rhythm of home and celebration, sanctuary and festival, the steady flame and the dancing spark. You feel yourself cradled between their energies, grounded by Hestia's profound peace, lifted by Dionysus's irrepressible joy. Hestia's story unfolds like the slow, steady glow of coals that have burned long and will burn longer still. Her tale beginning with the first hearth fire that transformed cave into home, wilderness into sanctuary, strangers into family. The hearth goddess reveals that her flame was the first light in the darkness, not the dramatic blaze that announces itself, but the quiet glow that makes life possible, that creates the safe spaces where souls can rest, grow, and flourish. Her domain encompasses far more than physical hearths and homes, extending to every space where beings gather in peace, every moment when souls feel truly welcomed and safe. She is present in the grandmother's kitchen where family recipes are passed down with love, in the meditation hall where seekers find inner stillness, in the library reading room where knowledge is shared in comfortable silence, in any place where the sacred art of hospitality creates bridges between hearts. The gentle goddess shows you her infinite home, a dwelling that expands to accommodate every soul who seeks shelter, every heart that needs healing, every spirit that requires rest. Here rooms unfold like flowers opening to the sun, each space perfectly suited to its occupant's needs, each corner radiating the warmth of unconditional welcome. Her pantry holds food for every hunger, her hearth provides warmth for every chill. Her embracing presence offers comfort for every sorrow. Hestia reveals the sacred art of creating sanctuary, showing how any space becomes holy when tended with love and intention. Her blessing flows through all who make homes into havens, who create environments where others can flourish, who understand that hospitality is a sacred duty and a divine gift. Her flame burns in every candle lit with prayer, every meal prepared with gratitude, every door opened in welcome to friend or stranger. The hearthkeeper demonstrates that true stability comes not from rigid structures, but from the flexible strength of deep roots, the kind of groundedness that can weather any storm while providing shelter for others. Her flame never flickers in the wind because it burns from an inexhaustible source, fed not by external fuel but by the eternal love that flows from the heart of existence itself. In her sacred mysteries, Hestia teaches the profound truth that the center is everywhere, that home is not a place but a state of being, that sanctuary can be found anywhere when the heart learns to rest in its own divine nature. Her priestesses carry her flame to establish new hearths, new communities, new sacred spaces where souls can gather to remember their essential unity and mutual care. The goddess of sacred space reveals her role as keeper of the social bonds that weave communities into families, strangers into friends, enemies into allies. Her influence flows through all gatherings where people come together in peace, all meals shared in gratitude, all conversations that build understanding rather than create division. She shows the civilization's greatest achievement is not technology or art, but the simple miracle of beings choosing to care for one another. Hestia's eternal flame serves as the cosmic connection point, the sacred fire that links every hearth on earth to the divine source, every home to the universal home, every family to the great family of all existence. When mortals tend their fires with reverence, when they create homes with love, when they practice hospitality with open hearts, they participate in her divine work of making the universe itself into a welcoming home for all souls. Beside her, Dionysus weaves his exuberant story, the tale of joy discovered in the depths of experience, celebration born from the marriage of ecstasy and wisdom, the sacred wildness that breaks through the boundaries of ordinary consciousness to reveal the divine madness of life fully lived. Divine God demonstrates that true spiritual awakening often comes not through solemn discipline alone, but through the willingness to lose oneself in divine rapture, to dance with the cosmic rhythms that pulse beneath surface appearances. His gifts to mortals include not just wine and celebration, but the deeper blessing of enthusiasm itself, the divine fire that ignites passion for life, art, love, and spiritual growth. His followers learn that the sacred and the sensual are not opposites, but partners, that the body is a temple meant to be celebrated, that pleasure taken with gratitude becomes a form of prayer. The god of sacred madness reveals his role as liberator of souls trapped in rigid patterns of thought and behavior, the divine force that breaks through crystallized habits to create space for growth and transformation. His festivals provide safe containers for the expression of energies that daily life often suppresses, allowing communities to release tension, celebrate abundance, and reconnect with their essential aliveness. Dionysus shows you his vineyards that grow across infinite dimensions, where grapes ripen under every sun and every moon, where the wine produced carries not intoxication but illumination, not escape but deeper engagement with the mystery of existence. Each cluster represents a soul's capacity for joy, each grape a moment of perfect appreciation for the gift of being alive. The Vine Lord demonstrates that his madness is actually profound sanity, the clear vision that sees through the illusions of separation and scarcity to recognize the underlying unity and abundance of existence. His ecstasy is not loss of control, but discovery of a deeper control, the ability to dance with life's energies rather than fighting against them, to flow with change rather than resisting it. In his sacred theaters, where every story ever told continues to unfold in eternal performance, Dionysus reveals his role as patron of all transformative arts. Here, actors and audience become one in the shared experience of catharsis. Comedy and tragedy blend to reveal life's full spectrum, and every soul discovers their own story reflected in the universal myths that speak to the human condition. The god of wine and wisdom teaches that true celebration honors all of life's experiences, not just the pleasant ones. His festivals acknowledge sorrow as well as joy, death as well as birth, endings as well as beginnings. Through his sacred rites, mortals learn that wholeness comes from embracing the complete spectrum of existence, that healing comes from dancing with all emotions rather than avoiding the difficult ones. Dionysus reveals his deepest secret. That divine intoxication comes not from any external substance, but from the soul's recognition of its own infinite nature. Its connection to the cosmic dance that creates and destroys worlds in endless cycles of divine play. His wine is a metaphor for this inner nectar, the ambrosia of realized divinity that makes ordinary mortals feel like gods because they remember, however briefly, that they are. Together, Hestia and Dionysus represent the perfect balance between centering and expansion, home and adventure, stability and transformation. Hestia's hearth provides the safe base from which souls can venture forth into Dionysus's realm of ecstatic discovery, while his celebrations create the memories and connections that make Hestia's home truly meaningful. The hearth goddess and the wine god demonstrate that spiritual life requires both sanctuary and celebration, both the quiet flame of contemplation and the wildfire of divine enthusiasm. Their gifts work together to create complete human beings, grounded enough to provide stability for others, free enough to dance with life's changes, wise enough to know when to rest and when to celebrate in their shared festivals. The sacred and the festive blend in perfect harmony. Hestia provides the welcoming space and nourishing food, while Dionysus brings the wine and music that transform gathering into celebration. Together, they create the conditions where community flourishes, where souls feel both safe and alive, both grounded and inspired. The two deities reveal their role in the great cycles of spiritual development. Hestia's influence helps souls establish inner stability and outer sanctuary, creating the foundation from which growth becomes possible. Dionysus's energy then provides the catalyst for transformation, the divine spark that ignites new possibilities and breaks through limiting patterns. Together, they guide souls through the endless dance of stability and change that characterizes all authentic spiritual evolution. Their combined wisdom teaches that home and celebration are not luxuries but necessities, not privileges but basic human needs. Every soul requires sanctuary where it can rest and restoration where it can be renewed. Every heart needs both the steady flame of enduring love and the sparkling wine of joyful celebration. Without Hestia's grounding, celebration becomes escapism. Without Dionysus's joy, home becomes prison. As the eternal flame burns higher in response to their combined presence, casting dancing shadows that seem to embrace the entire assembly of gods, you feel yourself completing the sacred circle of divine gifts. Each deity has offered their unique blessing, each has revealed their particular wisdom, and now all their energies converge in the perfect unity that underlies apparent diversity. The 12 great ones begin to speak in unison, their voices blending like the notes of a cosmic chord that resonates through every level of existence. They remind you that their stories are not just ancient myths, but living truths. Not just entertainment, but instruction. Not just information, but transformation. Each deity represents an aspect of your own divine nature, a facet of the infinite jewel of consciousness that you truly are. Zeus's sovereignty shows you your own authority to rule your inner kingdom with wisdom and justice. Hera's devotion reveals your capacity for sacred relationship and committed love. Poseidon's depths reflect your own emotional wisdom and intuitive knowing. Demeter's abundance demonstrates your power to nurture growth and create plenty. Athena's clarity illuminates your innate wisdom and strategic intelligence. Apollo's light reveals your capacity to illuminate darkness with understanding and beauty. Artemis's wildness honors your need for authentic freedom and natural wisdom. Ares's courage empowers your ability to protect what you love and stand for truth. Aphrodite's love awakens your recognition of divine beauty in all beings. Hephaestus's skill celebrates your creative power to manifest dreams in physical form. Hermes' swiftness reflects your ability to communicate truth and bridge differences. Hestia's peace grounds you in the sanctuary of your own divine nature. Dionysus's joy reminds you that celebration and ecstasy are sacred paths to divine realization. Together, they form the complete mandala of divine human potential. As the eternal flame reaches its crescendo of illumination, casting golden light that transforms the entire assembly into a vision of indescribable beauty, the 12 Olympians extend their hands toward you in unified blessing. Their combined energy flows through your dreaming consciousness like liquid light, like warm honey, like the breath of life itself. In this moment of perfect unity, you receive the ultimate gift, the recognition that you are not separate from these divine beings, but are yourself a facet of the same infinite consciousness that they represent. Their stories live within your story. Their powers flow through your potential. Their love embraces your soul with eternal acceptance and infinite possibility. The sacred flame begins to dim not through exhaustion, but through completion, its light gradually settling into the gentle glow of perfect peace. The gods smile with the satisfaction of work well done, stories well told, love well shared. Their forms begin to shimmer and fade, not disappearing, but expanding until they fill all space, all time, all possibility with their benevolent presence. As your consciousness drifts into the deepest levels of healing sleep, you carry with you the complete blessing of Olympus, the wisdom to live with divine authority and earthly compassion, the love to create beauty and nurture growth, the courage to stand for truth and protect the innocent, the skill to manifest dreams and communicate understanding, the peace to find sanctuary anywhere, and the joy to celebrate the sacred gift of existence itself. In this most blessed sleep, under the protection of all 12 Olympian deities, your dreams become pathways to divine realization. Your rest becomes restoration of your authentic divine nature. Your healing sleep becomes the gentle transformation that prepares you to awaken not just refreshed in body, but renewed in spirit, remembering who you truly are and empowered to live that truth with grace, wisdom, and boundless love. The eternal flame burns on, forever gentle, forever welcoming, forever reminding all who see it that home is where the heart recognizes its own divine nature, and that every soul is forever welcome in the halls of divine love.